He clutched my hand as if it was his only connection to reality, muttering softly, "I don't wish to join." My throat constricted. "Why not, friend?" His gaze was fixed on the rear of the car. Our brand-new SUV sat serenely in the driveway, giving no indication of any trouble. "Check the trunk," he stammered. I unlocked it. The sight that greeted me stopped my heart. 3 months ago, I would have described our family as content. 2 salaries, a suburban home, weekly family dinners on Sundays. She'd kiss me goodbye, tell me she loved me, and I'd believe her. I was working late, focusing on promotion season. I convinced myself the distance was temporary. The unreturned texts, the new passwords, the vacant chair next to me at breakfast. I found reasons. For her. For us. The car arrived one morning without notice or conversation. "Enjoy your new vehicle," I said. She smiled. It seemed time had come. Yet, it wasn't the car that disturbed me. It was the smile she gave without uttering a word. That was the initial fracture. A second incident unfolded a week later. My child was running a temperature. I took leave, prepared soup for him, ensured he stayed cool. She arrived home late, claiming she got engrossed in yoga. I gave an acknowledging nod. However, her hair carried an unfamiliar cologne, not one I used. I chose not to question her. Instead, I observed. Such learning is accomplished through quietness. A password left logged in. A hotel key concealed within her coat. The calls she took on the porch, whispering as if I couldn't overhear. She was cautious, but I was more discreet. She didn't realize I trailed her once. I watched her embrace him. A man with a vehicle, identical to the one now occupying our driveway. That wasn't a delivery from the dealership. It was a prize from him. I remained silent, neither screaming nor pleading. I allowed the silence to enshroud me like armor. Revenge isn't about fury. It's about accuracy. Initially, I consulted a lawyer. In secret, I transferred all my marital assets into a trust under my son's name. Untouchable. Impregnable. Then I began to unravel her life. For months, she hadn't worked and claimed to be prioritizing family. In reality, she was depleting our shared savings on spa weekends, business trips, and expensive meals I never partook in. I terminated our joint credit cards and locked down our accounts. That afternoon, she phoned, stating there was a problem with the bank. "No," I replied. "Everything's perfectly fine." Then I confronted her lover. He was married, as expected. I sent him an incriminating message with photos, dates, and receipts. I never saw his wife's face, but I envisioned her reaction, the bitter sting of betrayal, the measured silence I had become familiar with. Within a week, his life crumbled. She returned home enraged, accusing me of interfering. "I know what you did," she sneered. I met her gaze squarely. "So do I." Then came the ultimatum. She tried to use the car as a bargaining chip, stating it was hers, technically a gift. She'd keep the car, maybe leave, maybe take our son. I urged her to proceed. But my son, he altered everything. That morning, we were preparing for school when he noticed the SUV and stopped abruptly. He didn't want to get in. He crouched down, looking smaller than ever, filled with fear. "What's wrong?" I asked him, noticing his trembling. "Look in the trunk," he whispered hesitantly. So I did. Under a blanket, behind a neatly folded stroller, was a small leather briefcase. Inside, large piles of cash, possibly up to $20,000 or more. Also found was a burner phone, still displaying messages on its screen. "Don't let him find out. You'll lose everything. Once he signs the papers, we're free. The money is safe in the car. No one checks there." I didn't speak to her that night. Instead, I contacted my lawyer. I showed him the messages, the cash, the secretiveness. He smiled, a man who had seen it all and loved the resolution. The next day, I filed for full custody, financial fraud, concealed assets, adultery. The briefcase served as evidence. She didn't anticipate it. Not even the process server at her yoga class, nor the frozen bank accounts. She didn't hear an explanation from the man who was now attempting to salvage his own marriage. She pleaded, "I can explain." I held up a hand. "You did, in every lie you told." Weeks afterwards, I stood in court. She attempted to weep, claimed that I was cold, distant, and negligent. But the judge had witnessed the photos. The burner phone. The briefcase filled with betrayal. He ruled in my favor. She forfeited custody, forfeited the house, forfeited the car. And her lover? He disappeared, back to his wife. back to whatever life he pretended to live. My son and I left the court that day. In my vehicle, he gazed out of the window and questioned, "Is she returning?" I hesitated, then shook my head. No, she left a long time ago. Now, when I reflect on those moments, her face doesn't appear. Instead, I see my son's hand in mine. His voice, the tremble. He gave me the truth, and we both found our freedom. She entombed her lies in that trunk. I buried her possibilities with it.